Sega did a announcement the other day. There is quite a bit of hype around FM26, at least for me, and it looks like the game is expected to come out in the fall 2025, which is basically how we was going to expect it anyway. So, going through some expectations about what we should expect from FM26. Just going through this. This isn't a wish list, but if you guys want to add to the wish list of what I want or what we want in FM26, then put them in the comments. And while you're down there, hit a like. It helps with building the channel, and why not subscribe? Go for it. Anyway, let's get into it. But firstly, I wouldn't really expect news any earlier than what we used to, I guess. Maybe having them a little bit earlier, just because of the massive delay we've had. But I would treat this as a FM23, FM24, and previous versions release more than an FM25, I guess. We're not expecting anything to be delayed, at least, or hoping, fingers crossed. But a lot of people are having doubts about the game releasing at all, just having no confidence in the corporation, in the company, and I guess that's to be expected after what happened last year, but I guess I'm pretty confident the game will come out. I'm not sure people will love it, with the game taking the best part of 2 years to actually come out, but I think it'll be a good game when it comes out. There's a lot of people that just have no confidence in the game coming out, and I'm definitely not one of them. There's a couple of things that they need to do in it. There is probably not going to be as many features as people might want. With a game that's taken 2 years to come out, people might think, oh yeah, this is going to be a massive overhaul. I think FN24 had quite a few features that was branded as the most complete Football Manager game. I don't think we're going to get anything like that. I think the more likely version of it is we're probably going to get things taken out, and people aren't going to be happy about that. Hopefully they don't take too much out, but I think as long as we have a game come out, I think we'll get through that little bit of uncertainty at the start that people won't like it, and it should be a decent game. With the women's football as well, I think people are going to moan about it either way. People have blamed it for the game getting delayed, which just isn't the case. I think the move to Unity maybe will be a good decision. I've not seen anything from Unity to give me all the confidence. Even City Skylines 2, which was out on Unity, had quite a few issues with it. And my basic thing with women's football is, if you're going to do it properly. I think definitely being from EA Sports FC or FIFA, you kind of seen where women's football had a couple leagues, but it wasn't really taken seriously. I do have confidence in Sports Interactive to do it properly, and I think that's the type of thing with the backlash they're going to get from it for just people that just don't like women's football for some reason. Like, if you don't like it, just don't play it. But I think for the company to actually go through with this, they just need to do it properly. Add all the leagues, maybe even international management. I know they said they were going to remove international management from it, but I think a big part of women's football, especially the Euros this summer, is international football is quite a big thing. And maybe not in the men's game as much, but the women's game is a lot more. I'd like to see a fully fledged out game of the women's side, which hopefully they'll actually do properly. I do have confidence in Sports Interactive that if they're going to do something, to do it properly, and I think something like women's football is something like that. As I said before, I don't think there's going to be as many features as before. I think, as I said before, there's probably going to be more things taken out. I think with all the headlines we were getting from FN25, there's not that big of a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the stuff gets added while the game just comes out, or maybe a couple of weeks after. I know the quality testers usually there until about March-ish. I think that's the plan anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if, say, later on, if it's not quite ready for release, they do it later on. I think doing it for FM27 or whatever it's going to be called by then is not the greatest idea. I think when the game releases, it will be a good game. I think I'm one of the few that I've seen online anyway. Maybe it's just a loud minority, but a lot of people don't have the game being actually a good game. I think a lot of people have overly high expectations of the game, which probably won't help. I kind of have the impression that the game's going to get a little bit of backlash when it first comes out. I hope Sports Interactive know that they kind of need to do a big launch to like try and keep that negative to a minimum. But I genuinely think this will be a bigger and better game than before. I have a little bit of worries to get with the UI because they are trying to make it across all platforms, but I hope because the game is majority played by PC players before, I hope they don't just throw that all away just to have it all on better streamlined towards other consoles. I hope they don't just ruin the PC for it, because there's still a lot of people that play the PC version. I wonder as well, with a couple of features, I'm not going to go through all the features I want because I want to do a separate video on that. As I said earlier, if you guys want any features, drop in the comments and I'll even add your comment in the video. But I think with the Club World Cup going on at the moment, I think it'll probably be if they have the time and if the game's in a good enough condition, it would be a good thing to add the Club World Cup. It's not the most requested thing that I think people are going to do. I don't think a lot of people are a fan of the Club World Cup, especially in Europe, but that might be a thing. International management as well, they already cancelled it from FM25. I don't know whether that'll be something that comes in from the start of the game, whether that's something that comes later, or maybe even something that comes next year. And one of the features that I really want is press conferences. Since the last game came out, AI has gone towards taking lots of steps forward. Not sure if Sports Interactive is a company that wants to go down the AI route, but I think if you want to do press conferences and you want to make them a little bit easier, AI is just so much quicker for it, and I think that might be a route for them to go down. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'd expect from FM26. I expect news, probably not in the next couple of weeks. I think FM Console is the person to go through for latest news, but I will go through all the important ones on here. But they say there might be some news next week, but I'm not sure that's going to be anything more than we might get a reveal trailer, but we had one of them for FM25, so that doesn't really mean anything. Anyway, that's the end for today. I will just end that there. I will expect this game to come out as normal and almost treat this game as an FM23, FM24, not really for an FM25. Anyway, that is the end of today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have got to this point, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.